Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast, a hybrid structure encompassing health, fitness, self-improvement, and entertainment, where no topic is off limits and all opinions are graciously welcomed.
Let's get on with the show!
And now, here's the host of the show, Mike Sinopoli.
This is the MFS Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli. This is the final episode of 2023. Yes, the year flew by. Absolutely flew by, but went by slow at the same time. When you look back at your year, you look at a lot of ups, downs, and hopefully more ups than downs. And any downs that happened, hopefully you can find something in there that lifted you up. You learned something. You grew that way. A lot of that for me this year. No complaints, no regrets really from this year. It's just a whole lot of life happening and not overthinking as best we can. So that's sort of the overall thought process of analyzing a year as best we can. With a new year starting, some people think this is overrated? Some people don't. Some people look at it as a new start, but I don't really think there's a wrong way. I do not believe in the existence of time on its own. I think that's just a man-made construct. I don't think it's useless. I think it's very useful. I think we need time to stay organized. We need time to just kind of label life as it happens, as it goes, and it's a great structure. Well, we are the only species that uses time. Everything else will use instinct and whatever else is inside them for survival. So our developed brains came up with the concept of time. I don't think it exists just simply because you can't observe it, you can't travel through it, you can't move it, you can't touch it, you can't see it. But it's there as far as a ideology goes. So that aside, when the new year comes, some people get depressed. It's like another year forward. They feel like they've aged. They feel like that's just more death behind them. They're not wrong. That is one way to look at it. I can see it that way. I do come from a very pessimistic, ingrained mindset at times. Not proud of it, working through it. But, for me, though, one thing I did make a change on was looking at aging as a blessing. I welcome the new year. I actually enjoy New Year's. Not so much out for the party of it all anymore, but I guess in a sadistic fashion, the changing of the year, that gives an extra tick on my tombstone, extra number. For me, I just want to take, where I was born, 1983, I can't change that. Then there's the dash, and then there's going to be the end year. That's it. So what we want to do is make that little dash as, valuable and fulfilling as possible. That's my goal. The dash in between, the date where it ends, I have really no control over that for the most part. None of us really do. So to me, I celebrate another year of survival when I cross over to the new year, to January. And I celebrate another tick higher on my tombstone one day. So that's kind of where I just draw like the happiness to it all. Is just like, hey, there's only two options. It's death or it's aging. So I've gone ahead and made peace with aging as best I can. There are times where it strikes me right in the face and terrifies me, especially being 40 now. You really start to feel that there's a lot of time behind you. This is where the midlife crisis thing sort of comes in. Hits people at different times, may hit people never. If you truly live in the moment and you're not looking forward or backward too much, you don't feel it as much. Apparently, I have spent entirely too much time in my life looking back and forward. Therefore, you miss a lot that goes on. So I have rectified a lot of that, still working on it, not fully there. So if you look in the past too much, you can risk taking on some sort of depression. That's kind of common knowledge. You kind of, especially if you're not happy with how things had progressed in your past, or how you look at it and how you view it. They say everything happens for a reason, and I think that term is something that you take on when you look back at something. You find a reason for it. Some things are just dumb luck. Some things have reasons, some don't. Sometimes we just apply reasoning to things. Much like humans have taken on this ideology of time, and we created this construct. I think that we also have a curse of needing to find a reason and meaning in everything. I don't think we can truly just sit back and believe something just is. We have to have a reason for it, no matter what. We can't just say this is because it is. I believe that the observation of the world, why we're here, our existence, is not something that our human brains can actually process. I think it's kind of similar to taking a book and trying to get a dog to read. You could sit there for 14, 15 years of the dog's life, put a book in its face, read it in front of him or her hundreds of times, and it's never going to understand. It's never going to understand the words and how to do it. Its brain is not developed that way, and I believe that is our brains for our existence, and we just have pieced together different theories and concepts of why we're here. So the time construct falls in there, in my opinion, and like I said, I don't believe that it should be gone. I think it's extremely useful and keeps us organized and reduces chaos. So that's what the new year means to me. I progress as a living entity on this earth, and if it's a game of survival, then fine, I'm progressing. If it's also a game of happiness, contentment, and leaving your marks in some fashion. I think we try a little too hard to leave our mark with everybody around us. I believe there's only a select few that we need to really leave our mark upon. That could be, your significant other. That could be your kids. Obviously, that's mine, is my children. That's who I need to leave the right feelings for when I'm here, because I think we've kind of, with social media, myself included, we all want to make our mark on the world. We want to just make this big impact on everyone, and we have to reach everyone. But I don't think that's even a possibility most of the time. So I think just kind of keeping things within your closest circle and those that are most important to you is the secret and the key to fulfilling life and happiness, satisfaction, and things like that. Trying to please everybody, trying to impact everybody will lead to a lot of frustration, because you're just not going to do it, because humans are so individualized and so diverse that you just cannot simply do one thing and be one person and hit everybody the right way. It just doesn't work that way. So leaving that in the past is my thing, and it might be yours too if you're feeling frustration. You've been trying to just make a difference in the world. Keep doing good, and I guess just understand that it's got to understand not everybody's going to see you eye to eye and how you are. You got to be you and do your thing. If people don't align with you, you need to cut ties. That's the bottom line. It has to happen. If people are forcing too many relationships, too many friendships, it doesn't have to mean hate. It doesn't have to mean dislike, disdain, any of that. It just means it's not working out. It's not happening here. That doesn't just mean, that can be a family member, that can be friends, that can be a significant other, it can be anybody. The only relationships to really work at, to me, are those that are just that close knit to you, that mean the most, and you'll feel it. That's the way it is. So moving along, now that's what the new year means to me, and going forward and trying to do better. But we know that the flip of the calendar, like I said before, the time doesn't exist at all. So there's no magic when that calendar flips. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that happens different if you don't do something, change your mindset, take on something, plan a new goal, plan something out, set a new goal, plan for it, and make it happen. That's it. You can do this on January 1st, July 1st, October 1st. It really doesn't matter. We just are wired to do this, and I think making realistic resolutions is something that we need to focus on more. I believe that a lot of people, myself before included, have set this New Year's resolution with no plan in place. It's a milestone out there. It's this piece that's just out there. It's this placeholder, I should say, that's out there, that just gives us an excuse to sort of gorge through the holidays and just, all right, yeah, I got my New Year's resolution set to lose 15 to 20 pounds. So you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and eat like shit for 2 months and not work out and just let it go. And then I'll do that later. But later comes and you haven't done anything to switch your mindset. If anything, you just kind of sit back and dig yourself into a deeper hole, because as you stay idle, as you eat not very well, it kind of just puts you in this pit that you have to crawl out of. So it gives you a deeper pit to crawl out of, not only physically as far as weight goes, but also mentally and emotionally, because you might have put yourself in a bad spot and you don't really feel very well going into it. So it's even harder, and that becomes even more demoralizing. And that's what ends these New Year's resolutions that are fitness based. It's just not enough planning. It's not sincere. It's an insincere resolution. It's a wish at that point. If you're just wishing that your brain's going to change on January 1st, it never happens. It never will, unless you do something about it. That's the bottom line. So, just make it realistic. Plan for it. Be real with it. Understand it. Don't make it too extreme. Any resolutions. Don't change your life overnight. So many of these New Year's resolutions that people set for themselves, it's literally going from, it's a total 180. It's going from eating anything in sight, not moving, drinking all the time from the holidays and everything, to bam, I'm cutting it all off, and now I'm eating only salad, lettuce, chicken, rice, and I'm going to go to the gym 17 times a week. Now, that's just literally what people tend to do. I know I've been there. I've done it. I have done it a lot. And anything I talk about on here, I've probably done it myself. Anything, like, I'm not ousting anybody specifically or society, and I'm the one that can do this. No, I talk on this here because I've struggled mightily with these things. I've made all the mistakes. I've set New Year's resolutions with no planning. I've set New Year's resolutions that were unrealistic. I've set extreme New Year's resolutions, and almost all of those have failed pretty much. They all have failed basically, but like through the years, I kind of learned that, holy shit, I got to actually plan a little bit better here. I have to make it realistic. I have to understand that this and this and this is causing me to not complete what I'm doing here. So that's the thing. Just set it and plan it right. That's all you can do. And then that's, something I can help you out with too, if it's a diet or training related one. So feel free to send me a message on that. The gyms do get crowded after New Year's. I know it's kind of customary to complain about that. I used to, and at this point I don't any longer. I just accept it, and I give everyone the benefit of the doubt at this point. You're there. Whether you planned it well, whether you haven't, I don't know. I don't know where people are at, so I don't judge. I just think, hey, if you're getting in the gym, great. Just go. Do your best. If you planned it out well, good. Stick to it. If you haven't, stay there. Keep going, but start creating a plan and do it right, and so that it works for you. So that's another thing. I guess be nice to people at the gym is the best thing I could say. There's going to be new people there. You don't have to help them. You're not obligated, but if you can't say anything nice to them, just say nothing. That's the best. Say nothing. Don't hurt these people. They might have felt like a ton of bricks was on their back trying to get out of bed today, just to get to the gym. So you never know what they're going through, and that could be anybody. It doesn't even matter what their physique looks like. They could be overweight. They could be in shape. They could, be very muscular. They can be skinny. We don't know just by looking at a person. I think that's one of the downfalls of humanity. We just sort of throw judgments out there based on looks. I think that's the laziest way to go about assessing a human being, without speaking to them or knowing their past. People are deep. People have a lot of baggage, a lot of trauma, a lot of experiences, and to judge them based on a glance is so lazy. It's painful at this point. So keep those New Year's resolutions realistic, and just know yourself and don't go extreme. It keeps things you love involved in it, because if you take out everything you love and it becomes a miserable thing, it's going to suck. You have to almost commit to the process more than the result. Actually, you do. So the New Year's resolution should be understanding the process before committing the result. Like a lot of times you put out there, hey, New Year's resolution, I want to lose 15 pounds. Okay, great. Now, how are you going to do that? And how are you going to do that so that you don't hate it and you don't hate your life every day you wake up? Because you're getting in shape because you're unhappy with how you look. So that's an unhappiness. So why are you going to trade an unhappiness for another one? If the process makes you unhappy, now you're just bouncing around from two different sources of unhappiness. So you got to thread that needle. get the weight off of you, but do it in a way that's positive, that makes you happy. I'm probably going to take longer than you want. So that's where the patience factor comes in. And that's what I was saying before. I said it on social media, that set multiple New Year's resolutions if you'd like, 12 of them, one for every part of the year, every start of the year, like every month of the year, I should say. So like, maybe January 1st, you just start walking 10,000 steps or 8,000 steps. Depends if you're only doing 4,000 steps a day, then, start by doing 5,000. Hey, New Year's resolutions can be so, like, here's the difference between a process one and a result, right? So like your New Year's resolution is, I'm going to walk 10,000 steps every day. Okay, fine. But what you need to do, the resolution should be, is I'm going to track my steps and see how many I'm actually walking in a day on a regular day. I'm not going to go out of my way. I'm just going to just use my normal day, track my steps, and look at it. Okay, so all of a sudden you look down and you're taking 3,000 steps a day. That's very idle. That's not a lot of steps. So from there, you want to jump to 10,000. That's an extra. That's finding 7,000. That's 7,000 extra steps a day. That's 70% of 10,000 right there. You're trying to fit in overnight. So I would say that your first month, just ramp up. Find ways to get to 5,000. Once you got there, then get to 6. That's the way to do it. Don't just try to force 10 and in unrealistic ways. So that's kind of a way to do it. And then, in February, maybe you start counting your protein grams, get to your target there. March, you start training, strength training, things like that. It's going to be different for everyone. So that's sort of the New Year ideas in my eyes, how I see it. Celebrate it, do it, set them. There's no, just like we don't ridicule people at the gym starting after New Year's, I'm not going to ridicule anybody with a New Year's resolution. But there has to be some sort of realism to it as far as, setting the right goal and going from there, and having the process in place. So I, like I've been doing with Christmas and Halloween and all that, Thanksgiving, I took to Instagram for a few polls and a few questions. So the first one that I wanted to put out there is, when do you take down your Christmas decorations? So that is the first one, the first poll that I did. I've shortened this one a lot, so there's not a ton of polls, but the options were this: December 26th, after New Year's, or at the Epiphany. And that's a holy day that sort of ends Christmas to the Catholic religion. So 15% said December 26th they take down their decorations. They can't wait. Christmas is over, and down comes all of the decor. Most people, 60%, winner of the poll, is after New Year's. That's where I'm at. I keep my my stuff up until after the New Year, usually right after New Year's Day, first week of January, it starts coming down. Epiphany is usually the second Sunday in January, I believe, and 25% said that. So that's what you get for people and their Christmas decor. So then I asked, right after that, how do you celebrate the New Year? So the options were big night out, a party at home, relax at home, or sleep. The winner of that is relax at home with 56%. So the majority of people are just chilling at home. Maybe they're staying up until midnight, having a few cocktails and just relaxing. That's what I do. Party at home got 20%, and sleep got 22%. Last year, I believe, was the first year since I was a kid that I fell asleep before midnight on New Year's. I do try to stay up and hang out if I can. And only 2% said they have a big night out planned. So, that can be fun. This year, I am going out to dinner and just relaxing with a special someone. That is my plan. So going forward, I did ask the Instagram community, what is their New Year's resolution? I got some answers here, and I'll read them off to you. Becky DeStefano doesn't make them. I just need to be 1% better daily. I like that. There's no need to have a New Year's resolution. You just kind of, like I was saying before, you just kind of go through time and improve upon yourself and almost ignore time and just say, okay, this is what I'm in. This is more about process than time. Time can rush you. Time can try to make you hit a goal that you're not preparing right for. You're cutting corners just to try to hit a number or something that you've set that doesn't need to be set. So that's a good one by Becky. My lay key is her New Year's resolution is not to have one. Okay, good. Karen Cioni is also to not have one. Just be consistent year round. I like this. So a lot of people have the same mindset with this. LLC 58 is just to simply do better all around. That's good. That's the kind of thing, like, I like that, but hey, and this is just, they give you limited amounts of space to reply here, but, do better all around. It's a little vague, but it's a great sentiment, but, that's one way, hey, let's have some plans to that. We'll do better all around what and how. So, that's kind of one that needs a little more elaborating, but I will assume that she has it all figured out. Tam's Lions Den doesn't make them. She just always aims for the best version of herself all year round. And knowing her, I can attest she does. XOX, Sasha L, is to get rich and stay rich. All right. Making money. Michael Priest, he would like to have more sex. That's nice. Okay. Wish him the best. Lynn Brook, 83. None. Just going to try to live one day at a time. Very good. It's the only way to go. 1 minute at a time, really. 1 second at a time if you really want to find peace. I don't know how to do it, but if you do, let me know. Lauren Nicole Bruns is to potty train her son. That's a good one. I like that. I think she'll be successful there. I think he's ready to pee in the toilet. Megan Burke, sunshine and sunscreen every day. That sounds nice. Hopefully you're planning to get to a warmer climate. Jojo Skeebs does not make New Year's resolutions, which is, again, completely acceptable. Jess Detrana to be the best me ever. I like that. But let's get a plan in place for it. Keep trying and doing that. What's going to make you the best you? And that's about you. Nobody else's opinion can fuck with that. That's your own thing. The best version of you is your assessment of yourself, nobody else. And the whole Carrie Redhead says she does not make them. That's many people who are not making them, which is totally fine. Totally fine. AZIA Pine says, stop questioning my gut feelings and trust myself. That's one that's a good one. That's one I can put on mine in some fashion. Again, I need a more plan on that. But one struggle I have is this my gut feeling or am I paranoid? You second guess your gut. It's like, is this feeling telling me something, or is this just some sort of residual to my anxiety that's making me paranoid about something that doesn't need to be thought of? That's a tough one. That's something that is one of my goals in my life. And I don't know. We're going to get there one day to, trust your gut and don't second guess yourself, but also be able to identify the fact that you're telling yourself lies, your body is, due to past traumas or experiences, and holding something else accountable to that. That's a form of pessimism too, that, you end up more paranoid and all that. But at the same time, you learn from your experiences. So your thoughts kind of go that way just to protect yourself from the same hurt and feelings that you've endured before. The Mexican carnivore chimes in to not make any more resolutions, only long-term lifestyle changes. Perfect. That has been the theme of these answers, and I think people are starting to get it. I like it. He also says that also don't need to start on the first of the year. So what a great follow-up that is, because it's true. We've talked about it earlier, that you don't need to start at the first of the year. And Rain Lolo wants to reduce the amount of social media usage. I like that. And I think that's very helpful. I did that myself. I actually reduced by platform. And I feel like to do that, logging out helps. Logging out of your social media, it gives you less access. It makes you take another step to get there. So maybe you can pause and think, hey, do I really want to scroll right now? Am I just medicating myself? Am I distracting myself? Am I going to do that? So if you log out or delete the apps, however you want to do it, those are good ways to go about it without completely deleting it. I have gotten rid of my Facebook, my Twitter, and I don't have anything else really, just Instagram. I have a LinkedIn account that I did remove from my phone just because it wasn't doing anything but getting recruiters' spam sent to me, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore, and that was it. And the job that I'm in doesn't necessarily require me to do too much networking through there at this point. So less opinions, the better at times. So also and they said, explain your 2023 in 5 words or less. So Susan Michelle says she's blessed. That's great. I can feel that. Becky DeStefano says growth. Great. My Lakey says, fuck my life. LOL. Things will get better. Don't you worry. Karen Sion says 2023 was full of ups and downs. I think that's going to be the case for every year going forward. And I think, I think a good idea is just to know that every year is going to have these ups and downs. And some are deeper than others, and some highs are higher, and it's just the way it is. And then a lot of it's just in our brains and how we process it and how we think about it. I know that's my struggle. I will overthink anything. I will overthink to the worst. That's why I stay off of shit like WebMD and the internet. If I feel something, I just say, you know what, I'm going to give it a minute, see if it passes. If I don't like how I'm feeling, I'm going to go see a doctor. I'm not going to go and fucking Google my symptoms, because you will see the worst of the worst. Even though 0.0001% have that, the result of that symptom is the scariest, that smallest percent, you will think that your brain will potentially process the worst and think of the worst, and that's it. And it's and then you suffer more in your brain then you don't need to in reality. And I've done it, and I do it, and that should be one of mine. Tam's Lions Den wants to have a record year. I know she's doing some strength competitions, so I hope she hits those records, and she's looking for. XOXO Sasha says, it almost took me out. Well, you're still here, and you're doing well, and I know 2024 will improve. Michael Priest says, lots of fun and lots of sadness. Okay. Yes, I can attest myself. We all have our own paths and levels of fun and sadness. And I can say that that's pretty much like the other comment that was ups and downs. And yes, Mr. Priest, there are going to be lots of fun and lots of sadness in 2024 as well. I'm sure, hopefully more fun than sadness, though. That's what we're going to go for here, because I know we need to have an up year here, but we will see. Lauren Nicole Bruns says, life changes, roll with it. That's good. Yes, it does. It's all you can do. Accept the changes, accept the excitement that comes with it, even if it's hard, and the challenges, overcome it, find some strength, and see what you come out as the other end. That's what I'm doing. Not easy. Megan Burke, okay, cathartic therapy is magical. All right. I'm not going to be able to comment more on that, but that's good. Mess Paola says a year of healing. So taking a year of healing, I think we all have sectors of our life where we are genuinely healing from something. We may have to do that over and over again, but it's a good practice. Jess DeTrana says 2023 was chaotic happiness. I like that. That's cool. The whole Carrie Redhead exceeded 5 words here, but she processed a lot, did hard things, and grew as a person. Excellent. Keep that going till next year. AZIA Pine says growth, beauty, and finding purpose. And Rain Lolo says growth. And then lastly, I went ahead and asked, make a random prediction for 2024. Literally anything. So you could have said literally anything here. And I'm going to read it. So unfortunately, I put that in there and realized that next year is election year. So, that gets weird. And I'm concerned. I am not going to lie. I don't like it. I don't like how politics are, any side of it. I don't like to talk about politics on here. I've been ingrained in it. I've argued. I've been through it. It's a waste of time. It's so silly. Giving these people this much attention is ridiculous. But next year is an election year, and I said in 2019, in my opinion, that 2020 was going to be a shit show. And sure enough, that exceeded my expectations, unfortunately, by far. And I'm hoping 2024 does not follow suit at all. Can we just go through it, let the weird shit happen, but let it be minimal, and just let's try not to tear each other apart over an election. That's kind of the goal of this thing, whether it's intentional or not. We are destroying ourselves through this two-party political system, and we don't need to. Whether you agree with the system or not, we shouldn't be tearing each other apart, because it just leaves people in a bad place. So Susan Michelle says the elections don't happen. So she thinks the elections don't happen in 2024. So that's interesting. I'd like to hear more about that. Becky DeStefano says some sort of fatal insect invasion. Oh boy, that's aggressive. So I guess the murder hornets of 2020 will be back, and I guess they'll be carrying some form of COVID something. So that's what it sounds like. So we're going to have to lock down in our house, not from each other this time, but from some sort of fatal insect invasion. Wow. So instead of just masks, we're going to be having to wear full body suits. That's what it sounds like. So let's see if Becky's right. I hope she's not. Karen Sion, my oldest daughter, will get pregnant with her second child. She's hoping for that. So hope she's getting after it. Good. Tam's lying then. I'm going to be 38 in October. Well, that's a pretty solid prediction. And happy birthday 10 months early. All right. Sasha, XOXO, she's going to be a millionaire in 2024. All right. Well, I hope so. I do. Michael Priest, 355. He says, I'll have a true six-pack. Well, that might help you get more sex, like you said earlier, Mike. And good luck to that. And I think you can do it. I think you'll do both. I think you will have a six-pack and more sex. And I wish you the best. Lauren Nicole Bruns believes Monica Lewinsky will make a comeback. Whoa. All right. We're really getting out there now. Mez Paola says lots of new learning. The whole Carrie Redhead says all of my predictions would be chaos and mayhem. Okay. That's what we kind of think going into this. I think everyone's a little on edge for 2024 based on an election coming up with some high emotions rising there. AZIA Pine wants to find, she says, the right man will find me. Okay. Well, I hope he does. And don't stop looking yourself, because you never know. Sometimes you have to seek things out instead of waiting for it to come and find you. So you never know. The Mexican Carnivore says cyber attack and pandemic scare heading into the election to install more control. Well, that's very, very potential, I'd say. I don't know. Whether the pandemic was a plan or not, I have my views, but I'm not going to really get into it. But either way, it instilled some more control, at least for a time. And it is what it is, So we'll see. I don't see another pandemic happening. Look. Let me just talk realistically. If for some reason the 2020, the COVID-19 thing was, plotted and sort of, conspiracy, and it happened that way, I can't see them doing that again. They're going to give it up. They're going to give themselves away if that happens again. So then you'll know. That's the scary part too, So. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We all have our beliefs on it. I'm not going to get too far into it here. Send me a message if you want. I don't care. And Rain Lolo simply says, I'm too scared. So, unfortunately, it's looking as if many people are going into 2024 with some apprehension, with a little bit of fear maybe, a little bit of concern based on there being an election coming up. I got to say, You're valid, very valid, because what we saw last time, it was weird. Ever since 2014, things got really weird. The combination of politics and social media is disastrous. It's absolutely disastrous because they just, headlines people have no attention spans. So these headlines come out, they're swayed, they're bullshit, both different sides. They put it their own way. They spin it a certain way. And then what do? We fall in line, and the comment section on social media is literally probably the closest thing to, hell on earth. I mean, that might be a little extreme, but it's really an ugly place. It can really put you in a bad place, in a bad mood, the way people act, the way they are. No accountability because you're behind a screen. And I don't care what your policy is or what you follow. That is very, very unfortunate that we have this sort of structure right now where people can sort of say anything that's real or fake and cause an uproar and just argue ad nauseum, and people treat each other poorly in the comment section. I've been there, I've done it, not proud of it, I'm out of it. I have not messed around in over a couple of years in there. And I don't miss it. I don't even like to look at the comment section at this point because I just feel like I'm just inundated with opinions already, and usually it escalates into an argument, and people misperceive, and we dehumanize because we just see each other as a little icon and a name on a screen, and there's a lot behind those people. There's a lot that they've been through. There's a lot, whether they're being rude, whether they're being nice. It doesn't matter. There's just a lot going on there, and I've seen some nasty shit, and I don't want to go back into it. But anyways, that is everything I've got today for you for this New Year's episode. I started this podcast in 2022, so next year I'll be going in and hitting a 2-year mark, and then starting year number 3 on this. And I'm going to keep it going. I got a nice core group of listeners out there. I'm looking to grow it. I'm going to have some guests come on throughout the year. I'm going to continue on with health and fitness and add in whatever else is relevant, kind of keep this a little more diverse and fun and, kind of whatever, and see where it goes. It's nice to have a niche and understand, your audience listens in for different reasons. So you keep it informative and entertaining will be my goal. Humor and informative. That'll be my process going forward here. So, I'm going to do better on both and see where it goes. So again, I'm grateful for everyone who's been listening throughout the years, the last 2 years, and who's going to stick around in 2024, who's going to drop in. And again, if you want to be on the podcast and you're listening, it doesn't matter, whoever you are. I mean, we can just come up with a topic. If you know something about something, we can just talk about it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to feel like you have to be qualified to do this, because I'm not qualified other than my nutrition certification and some. That's about it, whatever. I don't have any sort of degree in broadcasting or communications or any of that. I just have a mic and talk. So, it's your episode. If you want to do one, I'm happy to host and the platform, and you make it about you, and I'll just ask questions and discuss with you. And that's it. So if you ever want to come on, it doesn't matter who you are. Just if you have something you want to talk about, come and message me and we will set it up and we will do it. There is no rules. So that's great. And if you want to get in touch with me, Instagram is the best spot. That's at MFS Wellness. Email's good too. Mike at mfswellness.com. So I would like to wish everyone a happy new year. And I really do hope 2024 surprises us as a great year rather than a shit show that many are expecting. A lot of it we're in control of in our heads, but, we sometimes can't control what happens outside of us, as we learned in 2020, how things got very, very bizarre very quick. So that's it. I look forward to 2024. I think there's going to be a lot of positivity within, but you know what? Keep it inside. Keep it inside positive and roll with it and understand that things are going to happen, good and bad, and that's just life. So happy New Year, and we will see you in 2024.